You.
Van Halen, Off the Record with Mary Turner, brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. The U.S. Navy. Navy, it's not just a job.
There's a spark, you know, there's some kind of energy inside you. That's what life's all about. Here's some heavy philosophy. It's like it takes different buttons to hit that spark in each person. And some people need a hockey game, and some people need a political rally, and the rest of us need Van Halen. So.
Is not a band that sits at home staring at their gold records. They've just released another album, they've finished up a Van Halen video, and they still spend about 10 months of the year on tour. I managed to catch up with David Lee Roth and Alex Van Halen before one of their shows a few weeks ago, and we decided that the complete unedited version of the Van Halen story should be put down on tape for future generations.
Well, they say it's kind of frightening how this younger generation swings. You know, it's more than just some new sensation. Well, the kid is into losing sleep, and he don't go for half a week. You know, it's more than just an aggravation. And the credo will rise. Yes, the credo will rise. And I say rock strong.
Let's talk about some history if we can. Van Halen story, part 1. You guys,
In the beginning, it was
well, you were in rival bands in Pasadena. How did you guys meet each other?
at a meeting.
Van Halen, how did we meet? Well, I was at an Indiana work camp with Michael for attacking one of my school teachers with a friendly weapon. And we tunneled our way out. Little did we know that at the same time we were digging through the sheer rock, that Edward and Alex Van Halen were enclosed in the bowels of a ship steaming across the Atlantic in 10 and 20-foot swells, learning to play piano on a stolen instrument, beaten by their father, determined to build them a life better than his own. Van Halen, about to play their first chord in the Twilight Zone.
There was a rivalry, though, between two different bands at one time, wasn't there? Before you started playing together?
What happened was we were all in different bands, and it just kind of, we filtered out the bad, and just what was left was us. Wait a minute, or did we filter out the good, and what was left was us?
You could only see his eyes, ladies and gentlemen.
It was like a distilling process. You know?
It was everybody else
went to school. They went to be doctors and thieves, and I don't know.
Really? Most of my friends went to jail.
They're still in there.
Hey, fellas.
So you
They allow record players in there.
sometimes.
The teachers all gave up on me. No matter what they say, I disagree. And when I need something to soothe my soul, I listen to too much rock and roll. Don't want no class reunion, that circus just left town. Why behave in public if you're living on a playground? It makes me blue.
I wanted to ask, before you formed the band and called it Van Halen, you had a lot of other names, didn't you? Were you part of those bands, this Rat Salad?
Where did you find this stuff?
I've been reading.
Yeah, we had a number of them. As a matter of fact, at one point, remember Jerry?
Yeah.
Dave and Jerry sat down overnight and in the morning came up with a list that must have been about 5 feet long of different names. I really can't mention any of them.
Oatmeal banana.
I mean, just for the lady. Remember that? Remember that? I remember that.
Well, you thought a rat salad.
All right.
And I was the one who said, let's name it Van Halen. And everybody said, no. And I said, yes.
Did you like that idea to call it Van Halen?
The reason I was actually opposed to it in the beginning was because it sounded kind of conceited, you know? I mean...
Well, I would have named it Roth, but it just wouldn't look good on the cover, man, you know.
When Dave said, why don't we call it Van Halen, how can it be objective? You know? So I said, well, just leave me out of this.
And I said, but it sounds like the wind.
And then Ed said, leave me out of this. And then the only guy that was left is, I can't vote. So, that wasn't my film, by the way.
No, that was somebody else. We had another bass player.
You told me once that it sounded like a German nuclear bomb or something like that.
Could. Maybe I think what I said is it sounded like a German nuclear scientist. Or maybe it sounded like a German contraceptive. I think that's what I said. Is that or some of those funny German aspirin we were all taking.
It was an aspirin. Sure gets you awake a long time.
Oh, that was what did the guy say? For slimming.
Yeah, for slimming.
It was a dietary
So I said, listen, I want to lose 500 pounds.
Really?
Tonight.
Change from being guys who were just doing this for sort of a couple of bucks here and there to being, for instance, Gazzari's house band, which is semi-big time?
When we really started getting hungry. That was, you know, you learned to run the dance contest, you know. Hey, that was great stuff.
It was fun.
Yeah, you jump down and you put your arm around and go, well, darling, where are you from? I'm from Canoga Park.
Yeah.
What do you do,
The
sweetheart?
sewer meets the ocean.
The sewer meets the ocean. It's a place in California. And, oh, well, what do you do for a living, sir? I'm a donut waitress. Oh, really? Yes, but I'm going to be a model. Okay. I'll play a modeling song for you. Jump up and, you know, get up and do the dance contest.
Have you seen her? So bad and pretty, moving with a style and ease. And I feel her from across the room. Yes, it's love in the third degree. Ooh, baby, baby, won't you turn your head my way? Ooh, baby, baby, come on, take a chance. You're old enough to dance the night away. Oh, dance the night away. A life wire, barely a beginner, but just watch that lady go. She's on fire, 'cause dancing gets her higher than anything else she knows. Ooh, baby, baby, won't you turn your head my way? Ooh, baby, baby, well, don't skip romance, 'cause you're old enough to dance the night away. Oh, dance the night away.
I'm interested in the part of the early days.
We're not.
I know you're not. You don't have to tell me.
Well,
For instance, when you were promoting yourself, didn't you go around to parking lots and stuff at
We
gigs
went
and put
everywhere.
flyers?
Put out tons and tons of flyers. We'd take a six-pack, get in the old van, and hit all the schools and get kicked out. We'd go to the local concerts
and
and
be
whatnot, big
chased.
shows.
You put posters everywhere you can. You get somebody to stand on your shoulders so you can put them up high enough that the janitor can't rub them down. and you go out in the pouring rain, and then you promote your own show. You know, it's up to you. I mean, I'd much prefer to think as a band that if somebody screwed up, it was us instead of some fat cat manager in a three-piece suit with a gold chain and cigar.
Taking 20%.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't sound like a bad job. I'm going to get bald, man.
Who discovered you? Who brought you to the attention of Warner Brothers?
A whole variety of people came by. You know, they come by and they see the band and they go, well, maybe we'll sign you, maybe we won't. We say, okay, hey, come back next week. And, you know.
What you going to pay next time? 99 cents.
And we play and do our own publicity. And we take charge of, you know, anything that was part of the band, we'd be in charge of. And that way, oh, there's my jet now. Sorry, man. Later. Happy to see you.
When you did the first album, was it material that you had been doing in clubs before, or did you write specifically for that?
Some of it was.
Yeah?
And we wrote some in the studio, and we wrote some in the basement, and I wrote all the words in the front seat.
Tell us about the basement. The basement plays a big part in your life.
Well, the basement is kind of a laboratory. It's kind of a church. It's a place of personal communion between those of us in the band and those of us who work for us. It's a place where we come to a meeting of the minds, depending on who's strongest that day. It's a place where the music softly and gently unfolds itself into the air.
After how many six-packs?
It's a place where the bugs down there were unreal. There's this mosquito. I fell asleep, you know, before the guys got down there. I got there early, and I said, I'll take a little nap, and there's a little cot down there. I fell asleep. I woke up this mosquito, and I was sitting on my finger, at least 6-8 pounder. And it started, he made off with my class ring. Dude, I don't see it. He made off with my class ring. Man. I went.
You didn't even went to school.
I grabbed the big anniversary issue of Playboy, which is the big one. Gave him about 6-8 hits. He swallowed the ring. You know, it was like kamikaze. And finally, I held him down with one hand, stabbed him in the heart with a toothpick, you know. And that brought him to his knees, and I was able to go for help.
Thank God you're still among the living. Is the basement always the same basement? Is it somebody's
Same
basement?
lighting, same mattresses, same...
Is it in one of your
Same
houses?
walls.
Or
I
is
don't
it-
know. Yes, it is. We just got
It's a hit.
It's been there for 5 years and haven't gotten evicted yet.
Yeah. Same decor, if you want to call it that. And that's where you go. You just make up the music. And you don't think about business, and you don't think about managing, and you don't think about the road. You don't think about anything. You go in, you make up music, and then slug it out.
Just be.
And just be.
It's going to be the recurring theme this one.
To be.
Let's be.
Before you go down there into the basement, is anything worked out beforehand, or do you start?
Yes, you have to work out an agreement with the villagers who are camped around the castle where the basement is, because they're very frightened. And with the lightning and the flashing and the dimming of the electrical lights in their little hutments, you know, there's very strange sounds, you know.
But musically speaking, do you go in and improvise? Do you have ideas for songs?
Some of the best stuff that we've written, we just started playing instantly.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, run the devil. And
It
there
just
was.
happens. It just happens. Or it starts as a joke.
Yeah.
Or it starts, it just
We
happens.
didn't say what songs they were.
Yeah.
Some of them did start out as jokes.
Hilarious jokes. And then when I said, hey, let's put that on the record, nah. Now I play it for an encore.
In just a moment, Dave and Al talk about prayer meetings, the magic number 7, and the edge off the record. Ask you about some particular songs. You know, I ain't talking about love.
Intimately.
But, yeah. I've been to the edge. Been to the edge sort of seems to say to me a whole lot more than...
Been to the edge?
Yeah, it's about being.
It's a club.
I stood and looked down. I lost a lot of friends. there.
Well, that's right. It's a club. It's called the edge.
And you
And
go
it's up
down
on top,
these.
and it's up high, and you look down, and you know, you go there nightly, and you lose friends, you make friends.
Right.
If you believe that, I got a bridge you might want to buy.
No, I have some nice land down in Florida for you.
That's a land in Florida.
Beachfront.
Yeah. No, there's a famous line from a play whose title I forget right now. It talks about a guy who has a face that looked like he'd been to the edge and looked over. And I said, oh, yeah. He's talking about Al's mug. Oh, yeah. You know, So
Hey.
we put ourselves in Al's shoes and we say, well, we've been to the edge. And we stood and looked down.
When you're recording, you don't do a bunch of overdubs, do you?
No.
Hardly any?
Short attention span.
Is it pretty much first takes?
It's
Sounds like it.
first or second take. We get real bored of playing the same song over and over, and so does Ted. Ted just doesn't want to listen to it anymore. He says, let's just do this or do something else.
Well, it's real extreme music, you know, to sit there with headphones on and the sound on around you, because we do play full volume in the studio. You know, you can only take it physically for so long. Really, you know, you're running up into the red zone for a while, and after an hour or so, you start to go, whoa. So what you do is you have a lot of relaxing sessions. That's where all your money goes. Dedicate one to the lady. Sometimes your babe needs something to keep you cool. Now sometimes your babe needs something to keep you cool. Better look out now, though. Dave's got something for you. Tell you what it is. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. Oh my, I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. See, now all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Hold on a second there. I gotta put my banana in Dixie cups. All flavors and push-ups too. I'm your ice cream man, baby. Stop me when I'm passing by. See, now all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. Hold on one more. Well, I'm usually passing by just about 11 o'clock. I never stop, I'm usually passing by just around 11 o'clock. And if you let me cool you one time, you'll be my regular stop. All right, boys. I gotta put my banana Dixie cups. All flavors and push-ups too. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. See, now all my flavors are guaranteed to satisfy.
When you got ready to make the second album after the, what one might call overnight success of the first album, you know what I mean by platinum paranoia? Was it slightly?
No.
Was it? Well, what I mean by
We
that?
just gotten off tour after 10 months. We had 2 weeks of rehearsal. We went in and recorded the next album in 7 days.
Really?
Then we all went out and went to the beach and had a good time.
Finally. The number 7 is very important to us, Mary. It takes us 7 days, you know, to put together a record, 7 weeks to rehearse for it. On the 7th day, we rest. We go to the 7-Eleven and we have a 7-Up with 7 and Seagram 7
Seven
in
of our
it.
friends.
With 7 of our friends. And it's usually 7 songs. And the band's going to break up after 7 records.
We got a while to go then.
Oh,
So there was no undue pressure then to do as well as the first album. Didn't frighten you at all?
No. Who cares?
You guys are so blasé.
People say, you know, what about it? Do you people make a conscious effort? I said, wait a minute. We haven't made a conscious effort to do anything. I think it'll last 7 years.
No, 7 again.
Still, the guys in the band were surprised at the reaction to Beautiful Girls.
I think it's a sexy song, you know? The song was written in my Opel Kadett heading for the beach, whatever, 3 years ago maybe, you know. I was driving with my pal Stan, you know, and we were commenting on the ladies who were on the sidewalks and everything, and I said, oh, man, don't you love Beautiful Girls? And he's, yeah, and, you know, we started to make up some rhymes because we were real high, you know, and we started to make up rhymes and this and that. And like I said, I never write it down, but I got a good memory for it. And I took the lyric back to the band. And I says, hey, what you got? Sounds like Beautiful Girls. And he came up with something real sassy, you know, that's sassy music, you know, just like a beautiful girl walking down the sidewalk on the beach, you know. And I love it. It's not sexist at all. She was the seaside, sitting just smoking and drinking on ringside, on top of the world, oh yeah. She had a drink in her hand, she had her toes in the sand, oh wow, what a beautiful girl. Fish from the sea with the looks to be like she liked to
it's a beautiful girl. Ah, yeah, beautiful girl. Come on. Well, I'm a bum in the sun and I'm having fun, and I know you know I got no special plans. All the bills are paid, I got a maid in the shade, and all I need is the woman. A creature from the sea with the looks to me like she liked to fool around. Here I am, ain't no man of the world, no. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah, yeah, beautiful girl. Oh, come this way there. Sit down right here. Ooh, la, la. I think I got it now. Now I'm a seaside sitting, just smoking and a drinking. I'm ringside. I'm top of the world. Top of the world. I got a drink in my hand, I got my toes in the sand. All I need is a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Oh yeah. Here I am, ain't no man of the world. No. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah, yeah. Beautiful girl. I ain't lying to you. Nothing else I need. Ah, yeah. Beautiful girl. Put yourself on down. Yeah. Beautiful girl. Ah, yeah. Beautiful girl. Ah, yeah. Beautiful girl. Come here, baby. Come here. Ah, yeah. Beautiful girl. What's your name, honey? What's your name? Hey, where are you going? Hey, beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. I love 'em. I need 'em. Beautiful girl. Can't do without 'em, no. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl.
There's a little bit of Van Halen in everybody. When we come back, Dave and Al talk about what it is and how to cure it. Off the record.
And that's one of the big lures of this, is whatever you want, you can get. You can make it whatever you want. That's why rock and roll is better than music. It's far superior to music, because it involves a whole lot of other things, you know. And otherwise you wouldn't act like you do when a good song comes on the radio in your car. I mean, you know, look what you did during the last good song. You ran the light, you know, and just in case anybody else in the ride might be uptight about it, you casually reach for the cigarette lighter, but no. You're really going for the volume knob. And you go like that, you know, and you check, make sure the antenna's up, and you kind of slide down in your seat just a little bit. And, you know, how's it go? You put your hand down between your legs and ease the seat back. And, yeah, you know, you decide to smoke another cigarette, you know. And pretty soon, man, you're way off on a tangent.
When Van Halen goes on the road, they go all the way. They do shows almost every night, and by the end of the tour, they've left their mark all over the world. It's not the most relaxing way to make a living, but the guys in Van Halen like it a lot. Hi, I'm Mary Turner, and for the next hour, we're going on the road with Alex Van Halen and David Lee Roth. So get ready for part 2 of Van Halen Off the Record.
A typical day goes like this, just sleeping. Ring, ring, get up out of bed, quick, back bags in half, gotta leave in the yard. Hey, baby, you gotta get out of here quick. Wake up, we'll put my clothes on, I'm gonna jump in the shower, I'm out of the shower, here we go, we're in the hall, we're out of the hall, we're in the airplane, we're in the city. Ring, 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 ring. Wake up, it's time to do the show. Gotta wait, get it, put my clothes on, I gotta jump in the shower, get out of the shower. You know what I mean? Get in here, listen to the radio, put that sound, change that song, I hate that song. You're gonna, wait a minute, there ain't no radio in this city, oh my God. You're gonna jump out of the city, you get in the limo, you get out of the limo, you're gonna go in the show, you're gonna get in the show, you're gonna get out on stage, you're gonna jump on stage, you're gonna be doing your thing for an hour and a half. It's heaven. And then I'm quick, get backstage, we're gonna say, meet these people. Oh, I gotta take a picture. It goes like that, so.
I worked last night till 10 o'clock, got on plane at 12. It's really disorienting. I mean, you do it every day.
Yeah.
But for one day in 6 months, we do it, and it's like, where are we?
Yeah.
What day is it? And what's happening?
I like it like that. It's always a new adventure right around the corner.
Is it disorienting to you, though, or you just sort of...
The only bad thing is when late at night, when you wake up and you have to go to the bathroom and you think you're in the last hotel, you take a right and you should take a left. You walk right into the closet.
I did that. Remember first gold record night in Aberdeen, Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
And
Great.
we got wasted the first night that we ever partied to celebrate like that. I was out of my mind. Like I passed out. I rarely do that. And I fell like on the floor beside my bed. And all of a sudden I woke up in the middle of the night or middle of the morning, and I just had to make a dash, for the bathroom. And I jumped up, and I thought I was in the last hotel, and just slammed right through the window and tore all the drapes out. And it was like the Venetian blinds, everything just went like that, man. I still got some cuts. I swear to God.
I'm sure you'll have some more tonight.
Hey.
You're getting the nose.
We're awfully familiar, aren't we?
You mentioned partying for your first gold album success. Was that a thrill, gold album?
Well, it's kind of simple. It was like a step. It said, all right, now you can do something. Now you're going to be able to play next year. Really?
In Aberdeen.
Yeah, Aberdeen, Scotland.
And a police escort out of the city because somebody stole a hotel pillow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And nobody
God
had
forbid.
work permits.
That's
Nobody
what you're
had
wearing
work
on your head, the
permits.
hotel pillow from Aberdeen.
Last night I had a dream that I ate a 5-pound marshmallow. This morning I woke up, my pillow was gone.
He's been waiting to give you that one. He told me last night he was going to tell you that, and I told him, please don't.
I've got it written down on my hand right here. I've got it written down right there.
I saw it in his eyes when he walked in.
Record.
All right, you sinners, swing!
There's a lot more to a concert than what you see on stage. It takes a lot of planning, and every band has its own particular requirements, which are spelled out in a rider attached to the contract. Van Halen's rider is as outrageous as they are.
This rider is like about 2 inches big. It reads like a book. And most promoters ain't never seen something that big. And they call up going, are you out of your mind? Are you going to inspect this? We go, yes, and so forth. And this way we can have a great show every time, as far as the stage size and so forth. There's no problems. Van Halen was almost never late in getting started because you specify exactly what and when and where and how many and how much. And right in the middle of it, because it is so preposterously big, is in between electrical requirements. There must be 500 amperes at 16,000 volts, etc. The next one says there shall be no brown M&Ms in the dressing room at pain of forfeiting the show. Then it goes back to electrical requirements. And we stuck it in there to see if anybody jumped. And everybody did, Everybody says, whoa, and they went out and sifted out all the brown M&Ms and everything. And what happened is we played a show at a facility, I think it was on a university campus or something, and not really familiar with rock shows there. We were one of the first shows they've ever had there. And They left brown M&Ms in the dresser. I became very emotional. Man, I was very upset. I wasn't going to play the show. And then I realized the only thing that would make me get my spirit back and want to play that show in Pueblo was a food fight. So we had a food fight, destroyed the entire buffet and all of the dinner and the hors d'oeuvres and all the drinks and everything, and everybody felt much better. And we went on and played a hellified show. Well, all the people had such a good time out in the audience that they tore up the bathrooms on their way out, and they got crazy in the parking lot and trashed the floor of the place and all this sort of thing that the hall is responsible. I'm not out there in the audience. They weren't aware of how to do that. People trashed the place, and they blamed the whole thing on my M&Ms.
Tell me about the stage show for a lot of people listening who have never seen Van Halen yet. What could you tell someone who hasn't seen it? How could you describe it? But there's not a lot of pyrotechnics. I mean, it comes across huge.
We're just trying to do something that's real traditional. You have band, lights, and sound. And you have a tremendous amount of all three, but it's not lasers, it's not, fancy business like that. Because otherwise people just come and watch a light show. People are just like watching a TV show or something. And rock music is live. It's people to people. You know, if you put screens on the side of the stage like they do at some of these big outdoor shows, your natural instinct from watching television for so many years is to watch the damn screen. You know, and you immediately watch the screen. I watch the screen. Yeah. And it's, and that's your immediate impulse is to watch the TV, the big TV. And you start doing tricks with lasers and stuff. Hey, that's great. I'd love to see it, but it's not real good for the band. I saw a band, I won't say, but, they had a tremendous laser light show. And I sat and I was awed by that thing. When the light show was over, I left. Which isn't very good for the band, because either they have to change that light show radically every year of their whole career, or
New haircuts.
New lipstick.
Right.
Well, they say it's kind of frightening how this younger generation swings. You know, it's more than just some new sensation. Well, the kid is into losing sleep, and he don't come home for half a week. You know, it's more than just an aggravation. And the cradle will rock. Yes, the cradle will rock. And I say rock on. Ooh, rock on. And when some local kid gets down, they try and drum him out of town. They say you could at least faked it, boy. Fake it, boy. At an early age, he hits the street, winds up tied with who he meets, and he's unemployed. Ow! In the cradle, we'll ride. In the cradle will ride. And I say, rock on. I say, rock on. Have you seen Junior's grades? And when some local kid gets down, they try and drum him out of town. They say you could at least faked it, boy. Faked it, boy. And so at an early age, he hits the street, winds up tied with
told me once about playing roller hockey in big arenas before a show.
That stuff's for people who are serious about their health.
You don't do that anymore?
Nah.
That was last week.
What are we doing this week? We're gonna have to invent a new sport.
Yeah.
How about...
Wall helmets and glove shoes.
Do you know what a wall helmet or a glove shoes is?
Uh-uh.
A wall helmet is a device that you put on your head. It's got a suction cup on it. And what you do is you make the person who's wearing it kind of bend over in a 90-degree angle like this, and you stick them to the wall.
And then the glove shoes, see,
Use your
shoes
imagination for the
have
rest.
gloves attached to the shoes, see, and then you put your hands in the gloves, and they're part of the shoes. So you get the picture?
I'm getting the
In
picture.
color.
Technicolor.
Let us assume the position.
You both have described Van Halen music as big rock. What would that mean to someone who has never seen you?
I mean, it's going to cost me $9.50 to get in.
And that's this week.
Seriously, what it is, the reason we use big rock is because if you use the term hard rock or, well, whatever term you want to use, people have right away a certain impression of what they think you are.
Or what you look like, or what you sound like.
So we use big rock as a term
To confuse them.
right? Because what we should have just said, it's Van Halen, and that's what it sounds like. We don't sound like anybody else. I mean, when you hear Van Halen, you know it's...
For better or worse.
There it is.
A great name for an
If you say
album.
heavy metal, then it conjures up a specific sound on the record, specific format for songs, which
And
is
everybody's
okay.
wearing leather clothes,
Yeah,
and big
everybody's
belts,
got leather pants with big belts.
and makeup.
And makeup. And that's wonderful. You know?
Or rubber underwear.
Yeah, rubber underwear is nice. So, but that's okay. I guess you gotta have a new one every year. And
A new pair of underwear?
no, Alex, you heavy metal band. Anyways,
Sorry. Here we go. And you're off and running.
Proficient musicians, but I think, and especially Ed, I mean, really an excellent guitarist and recognized as such by people who should know, like Les Paul. But the critics have treated you really less than kindly about
Who
that
cares?
in general. It doesn't bother you?
No, not at all, because the critics don't come to see the show. They come for a few minutes and then they leave. It's the proof is in the pudding. It's the 3 nights in LA when we play there. It's like tonight if you're coming to the show. It's the 3 nights in Detroit where the kids have a good time. What more can I say?
Well, back in the past, when I was treated so coldly, my love life was a dire disgrace. Needed someone to love and hold me. That's one of the reasons that I was out of place. So, this love, well, she finally kissed me. Had me all worked up inside. I was in love, but Cupid missed me. She up and left, and I almost died. But I was young and I was far from lonely. I've been that way for a long, long year. Needed a girl to call my one and only. Is that you?
critics mean nothing.
They don't buy records.
Yeah, critics don't buy records. They just, have you ever seen a critic, Mary? Most of them look like Elvis and
Most of 'em.
Elvis Costello. Or they just look like Costello from Abbott and Costello. Or they look like my dad. And that's, you know, that's, who cares what they think? And then, you know, they take Van Halen very, very personally.
They do.
Yeah, because, you know, we're not artists in the sense that they want somebody who looks a certain way and takes himself very, very seriously. And they want, you know, the album covers to be tasteful. And they want
know
the
what that
music,
means.
they want the music to be provocative. And by that definition, by comparison, Van Halen is dirty and nasty and too loud and too much. Now dig, I got $10 on you. You wanna go to a concert? Which one? You decide. You wanna go see something tasteful and provocative, or something dirty and too loud and too much?
I'll go for the disgusting one.
And they know that too. And that just pisses them off even more.
You know, you have fans all over the world who are real attached to you. Do you, either of you feel any personal obligation or any kind of obligation to fans? Because, you know, they'll eat you alive if you let them.
It's, you know, it gets crazy after a while. Of course you want people to like the music. Of course you're going to want people to have a good time. On the other hand, it's, you know, you got your own life to lead. Life is not a popularity contest. So, go your own way. And there comes a point, you know, nowadays we get followed. I got followed in L.A. They followed me for 2 miles, and I'm a good evasive driver, man. Finally, I just stopped in the middle of the road. I said, this is it. And I figured, you know, either they were going to shoot me or I'd have to sign an autograph. You know, either way, I wasn't going to lead them up to where I was living, you know. And started to reach in the glove compartment for a pencil, and they got a terrified look on their face and split, right? And drove off. So I see a letter in Circus Magazine about 2 weeks ago from 2 guys in Los Angeles. Says, hey, we saw, you know, David Lee Roth driving down the street, and we just started to follow him, you know, and everything. We followed him for a little ways and everything, and then all of a sudden, he just, you know, he wouldn't slow down, you know, and he just stopped in the middle of the road, and he went to reach for something in his glove compartment, man, and we got scared, and we're never buying a Van Halen record ever again, because we think that's, you know what I mean? At that point, it gets a little tedious, you know, but on the other hand, hey, it's great to make noise and, you know, get excited over something.
We aim it, I entertain you, leaving here, we aggravate you. Don't you know it means the same to me? Honey, I'm the one you love. Come on, baby, show your love. Hi, give it to me.
On the same line as the stuff you just said, you guys have a bunch of bodyguards that travel with you all the time?
Well, when you go on the road, it becomes more than fans. It becomes more than people who like you. There's a whole lot of people who don't like Van Halen, and that's fine. But sometimes they'll do more than just voice that. And there's a lot of crazies out there. I don't have to go into that. And you got to be careful. Everybody else I know in music business, everybody's got to be tight because you just never know. You sign autographs, you know, somebody pull a knife out behind you. Well, after one time of that, then you don't let anybody stand behind you when you sign an autograph anymore. Because rock and roll is not Las Vegas. It's a lot more extreme, and it's a lot more passionate, and people react in a lot more passionate and extreme manner.
30 movies. Any particular prom queen that you guys know?
Yes.
Yes? Yes?
A young lady. She wasn't queen, but she was in Queen's Court in Homecoming when I was in high school. And she was the one we all lusted after, you know, because she was so sweet and clean and pure. As, you know, like National
Lovelace.
No.
Holly Purebred.
Holly Purebred.
Yeah,
That's it.
Wheat toast, please. Rye bread.
And, you know, that's who we all lusted after. And she went on to get in magazines and stuff, which, you know, I think is wonderful.
Yeah, what, those detective magazines, you mean?
Close, Al, close.
Very close, Al.
So it's, you know, a little blast from the past. We all know somebody like that. All the people who were guaranteed to succeed, you know. What happened to them?
Porno queens. The songs, they start out instrumentally, and you then come up, Dave, with the lyrics. Is that right?
Basically.
It changes. Sometimes music comes first. Sometimes words come first. Sometimes you have to go together. Sometimes you have to go to the studio to get inspired. Sometimes it just never happens. Some of our best songs we haven't written yet. So, yeah. Hey, there's a great song we never wrote that's going to be on the next album, maybe. Didn't make it onto this one because there wasn't enough room, you know. We wrote the last song and then the first song, and then we filled up the middle of the record. And we had this other song that we hadn't written, and there just wasn't any room in it. So I said, well, let's put it in the cracks, you know, a little bit of it in between each song. And then by the end of the record, you'll have heard the whole tune. And everybody said, nah. So
Well, you know, that song was so good because we hadn't written the music or the words yet.
It was great. And,
I love that one. That's my favorite song.
Oh, yeah.
Check me out on the good side here. When my baby's on the corner and she's looking so fine, put 1 and 1 together and it blow my mind. Man needs love to live. I'm the living proof. Catch that smiling eye at the roof. Big double take, but you keep on walking. I'm in love. Once over, I'm overdone. This is love. Ooh, I need your loving. Come on, baby, take me home. This is love. Ooh, I need your loving. I'm just getting born. Going out my way, no my way around. The grass is never greener and there are plenty around. All the other girls, they be put to shame. Over the edge and here I stay. Got me on pins and needles. And she knows she's mine and ain't letting go. This is love. And ooh, I need your love. Baby, take me home. This is love. Ooh, I need your loving. I know. Got me on pins and needles. Yes, she knows she's mine and ain't letting go. This is love. Then I need your love. This is love. Ooh, I need your love. Baby, got to have your love. Ooh, I need, got to have that love. Baby, baby. Get love. This is love. This is love.
On a more personal level, success. It must have changed your life a bunch. Or has it? Really?
No.
Now we just do what we've always done in more places. Now vacation time is a lot more fun. You know, get to travel some. And everybody goes their own ways, you know, when we are off the road. And then you have new things to bring back for the music or for the show or just traveling. That's what I like. What do you like, Al?
What would you be doing if it wasn't fun?
Robbing banks.
Oh.
I did pimp.
I don't know.
Here I am, ain't no man of the world. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah, yeah, beautiful girl. I ain't lying to you. Nothing else I need. Ah, yeah, beautiful girl. Set yourself on down. Yeah, beautiful girl. Ah, yeah, beautiful girl.
Van Halen, Off the Record with Mary Turner, has been brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. The U.S. Navy. Navy, it's not just a job, it's an adventure. And Levi's Shoes and Boots. Real fine footwear. Get into some today. Levi's Shoes and Boots. This special program was written and produced by Marsha Richardson and Lindsay Guerrero, with production and engineering by Ron Harris. Off the Record with Mary Turner is a presentation of Westwood One. Executive producer, Norm Pattis.